What's up guys, welcome back. It's Nail Wednesday. So today I'll be doing a video on brushes. Basically I have two brushes in my hand. One is a size 8 and one is a size 16. The size 8 is from Young Nail and the size 16 is from Koniski. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys how I work and what's the difference basically of working with a smaller brush to a bigger brush. In my opinion, everybody have a lot of things to say. Other persons may say that it's not the brush, it's a technique, and another person will say it's the brush and not the technique. But in my opinion, working with a size 8 brush, it takes a much longer to finish. You don't have enough bristle, so in terms of bringing down the example, you take up a large bead, right? If you're not careful, or if you don't master your craft fully as yet, the proper technique to use to carry out a large bead is very difficult when using a small size brushes. Small size brush, it have its advantage as well. You can, if you're just starting out, it basically provides you with baby steps. It is much more moderate. Although you can make mistakes while practicing with any form of brush, but it gives you that time, and it gives you that, I don't want to talk foolishness, but basically me now, what I find with smaller brush is that it is good for getting into the cuticle area. So say you want to clean up, or say you want to remove a particle which go over the cuticle, right? The cuticle, you can use a small brush also. The small brush limits you in a sense where it controls the amount of acrylic you use, because if you're not doing nails for a long time, it is very hard to take up a large bead with a small nail brush. You have to master that. So in that sense, it will limit you and give you enough time to master the application process of the acrylic without taking up excess. So that's a good thing with the small brush. The small brush is also good to work with. As I explained earlier, it can go into the cuticle area, and that's basically it for me with the small brush. You have more advantage from the small brush, I should think so, but that is what I'm remembering right now. Yeah, so that is it for the small brush. As you can see, I'm taking a longer time to complete this set because I have to be going over and ensure everything is correct, well even. Yeah, versus with a bigger brush, you can take up a bigger bead and cover up everything, and you have to be careful when working with a bigger brush also, because some of the time you may take up too much. So there's always an advantage and a disadvantage when working with any size brushes, and it all depends on what make you comfortable. I started doing nails with a size 16 brush. I love working with a bigger brush because the bigger brush provides more acrylic and it cut down time, and one bead from a bigger brush can cover a whole entire surface area on a nail versus with a smaller nail. Also, with the bigger brush you finish much faster, right? You work quicker and it is more efficient. But also with a bigger brush, it is very difficult to navigate around the lateral nail fold or the cuticles, and it is difficult to clean up around the cuticle area. Because what happened with my size 16 brush, because it is bigger, the tip of the brush are not as uniform as the small brush. They tend to scatter all over the place easily. Yeah, so this is the big brush now I'm gonna do this nail set with. And as I said, if you're comfortable working with a smaller nail brush, it's what you're comfortable with. Just continue practicing, and it's always good to try new stuff. But for me, as I said, if you notice, I put one bead on this nail and it's already covered a large surface area versus with the first clip that I show you with the size 8 brush. That is why I love a bigger brush. But I am not totally a fan of the size 16 brush. I am gonna buy some other brushes, but I'm thinking of trying out size 12, because when I examine size 12 brush, they have the body, and plus they have the uniformness, and they're not that big, they can work with. Yes, and this is what I started. This exact same brush is what line. I started out with some other brush, which wasn't really nail brush, but because I buy a kit and those brush come with it, and I didn't know anything about the time I didn't went to class or get any professional training at the time about nails, I used to use them. But this size 16 brush that you see I'm using in this video now, it's my first ever professional brush. Yes, and I love it. I have it for about a year now. And it's also important and crucial to take care of a brush, because brush is very expensive, and if you don't want to be continuing buying, yeah. So those are some of the advantages and disadvantages of working with a smaller brush versus a bigger brush. Everybody have their preference, and although I work with both, I would totally work with a size 16 brush again, because to me its bristle is too large, and sometimes I find myself can't control the movement of the bead, or even to do certain work on the nail plate, as I explained, like going clean up around the cubicles, because the 16 brush is very large, and mostly professional nail techs who use bigger brushes are person that is well advanced in this thing, so they know they don't really have problem with the cuticle area. But I am going to size down to a size 12 brush. I don't really use this brush anyways guys. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and if you have any video idea for me, just comment down below and I will do it for you guys. Thanks again. Bye.